Welcome to the channel. I have met a lot of people who've been helpful in my life. Some of them even do it at their own expense. These are the ones that are easy to take advantage of. So much so, some of us feel bad when we accept their help because we start to feel like we're overburdening them. But what happens when people start to draw their self-worth from being useful to other people around them? Let's talk about it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. While I was researching for this video, I learned that the term people pleaser is actually an informal label that we use for a multitude of behaviors. The most common of such behaviors is their inability to say no.
I'm just a girl who can't say no.
Now you a single mom. Now you a single mom.
The reasons are varied and everyone has a different mix of emotions that make it hard to pinpoint the actual source of such thought patterns. I suddenly remembered this thing that happened with a friend of mine. So let's call her Sky. Sky's computer breaks down even though she and her boyfriend bought it recently. So she takes it back to the shop to get it fixed. The way the conversation was going, she would have been talked into leaving her computer at the shop for weeks. This girl did not demand a replacement of the motherboard, which she was entitled to. The owner was just trying to convince her to just buy a new one and wait for them to replace it when they have a replacement ready. She would have fallen for it if not for the fact that we were in the call with her boyfriend and telling her what to say. Which is fine, but it was painful to listen to. All I could think of shouting at her was, "Why are you like this?" Everyone has been telling her that she needed to learn to say no or tattoo it on her forehead. My point is, it can be very hard to watch a people pleaser get taken advantage of and very frustrating to help them stop. In my own opinion, it's not a bad thing to want to help people so long as you can find a balance between their needs and yours. It takes an emotional toll when you always put other people before yourself. Then there are those who I call functional people pleasers who can only see their value from how they can help others. It's normal to feel bad when you think you're starting to burden others, but the effect on functional people pleasers, or FPP for short, is often negative. These people live to be of service, and when they can't be of any help to anyone, they start to break down. A very good example we can look at is Luisa from Encanto, also known as the big strong woman with the pretty brown eyes who can crush your head with her thighs. And for anyone who would take offense to my comments, let me remind you, Luisa is a fictional character. If that's not enough, she's canonically 19 and her voice actress is 26. I am safe and there's nothing you can do about it.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
Anyway, Luisa is the middle child of Julieta and Agustin Madrigal and the older sister of Mirabel. Her gift in the movie is super strength and she uses it to help everyone in the village. When I say help, it can be anything from moving the church, rerouting the river, or catching escaped donkeys. She could be considered one of the most helpful person in the family, other than her mother who can heal just about any physical injury with food. Which I could really use because goddamn my back has been killing me.
Oh my back!
If you watch Encanto, you know Luisa was the first person affected when the miracle was starting to fade. We see how she starts to lose it when her strength started to fail her. Luckily, she's surrounded by family who help teach her that she can rely on others and that she can afford to relax. This is an example of the good ending. Encanto, like any other Disney movies, does its best to resolve the inner conflicts of their characters so that we can live vicariously through them. They can have the happy ending, we can't. Unfortunately, it is very hard to find characters with the people pleaser archetype that end in tragedy. We often end up rooting for these people and wanting better for them, and we feel a sense of joy whenever they go through character growth and overcome their behavior. But I do know one character that came close to the very edge of despair. Steven from Steven Universe. In the finale, we see Steven turn into a monster after a very emotional breakdown. This is what happens when someone spends all their time worrying about other people. Anger, sadness, denial, every conceivable emotion just being bottled up until it explodes, turning people into something that is no longer a reflection of who they once were. Steven is a people pleaser, one that finds happiness in taking care of the people around him. But just like the people around him, he is also an individual with individual problems and needs. And as the show said, the only person who didn't have Steven was Steven. Just like Luisa, having a good support system is key to overcoming the emotional burden. Wow, the answer to unburdening someone who helps everyone but themselves is everyone coming to help that one person? Alright everyone, go out and make friends, otherwise you'll turn into a giant gem monster or macho señorita crybaby or something. I don't know what I'm doing with this segment. Going back to the topic, I said I had a hard time finding a character of this archetype who ended in tragedy. But I think it's a good thing. At the end of the day, this behavior is an obstacle to overcome overcome so that characters and people can grow and mature. Yet if movies, cartoons, life has taught us anything, it's that challenges, obstacles, and problems don't always need to be solved alone. Okay, good talk. I suck at ending my videos, so if you're a people pleaser, stop that shit. Thanks for watching.